The book of Matthew is so full of information. This week, we will be reading 3 chapters along with the corresponding devotions Monday through Thursday. On Friday, you have been given a small assignment to reread the names of the disciples and choose one to do some research on. I'm going to look up Thomas and just see what I can find out about him. Chapter 10 opens with the calling of the 12 disciples. The list is recorded in verses 2 through 4. He didn't draft them, force them, or ask them to volunteer. He chose them to serve him in a special way. Christ calls us today without twisting our arms. If he calls you, he will equip you for the task he wants you to fulfill. The will of God does not send you where the grace of God cannot keep you. Jesus shared with his disciples that living for him often brings on persecution, but with it comes the opportunity to tell the good news of salvation. Standing firm is a clear evidence that a person is really committed to Jesus. The best way to enjoy life, therefore, is to loosen our greedy grasp on earthly rewards so that we can be free to follow Christ. And in so doing, we will inherit eternal life and begin at once to experience the benefits of following Christ. Mindy's devotion on Monday gives a great summary of the chapter. John the Baptist was perplexed and perhaps discouraged as chapter 11 opens with doubts of his own. He had served God faithfully and yet was in prison. His work was ended, and he was not sure that Jesus was ministering in the right way. He wanted a secure feeling while he was in prison that he had done well at preparing the way for Jesus and that his work was not done in vain. We will all have days of doubting in our lives. That is when we must turn to the scriptures that speak truth and reconnect us totally to Christ. As a favorite verse reads in this chapter, become yoked to the Lord so that he carries your burdens in times of trials. Then his promises of love, healing, and peace with God will become a life of spiritual productivity and purpose. We read in our last chapter this week where the religious leaders of the time were waiting for an opportunity to attack Jesus, and Jesus deliberately gave it to them when he healed a man's hand on the Sabbath. The Pharisees found out that our God is a God of people, not rules, while they placed their laws above human need. The best time to reach out to someone is when he or she is in need. The rest of our reading shows that Jesus is the stronger man who has invaded Satan's house, overcome him, and taken his weapons. For us, we must beware of an empty life. It is a standing invitation for Satan to go to work. In this spiritual war being waged today, you cannot be neutral. You are either for him or against him. On which side do you stand? Thank you to Heather and Mindy for a great job with the daily devotions. And remember, Biblical Shakers will make reading the Bible more enjoyable for you. I pray the Lord will put a hunger on your heart.